between us. She's just a hostage. Wait until I'm done, and the Tong family will contact you. 2 days later, at the Tong family's residence, Tongxin happily announced to her family, "Dad, Grandpa, Mr. Wu has brought back the murderer who killed my brother." At the Tong family's ancestral hall, Tong Baiquan, the current head of the family, held a stick of incense, his hand trembling with emotion. "Father, our family's great vengeance will soon be avenged." Tong Din invited Wu Chen into the house to introduce him to everyone. Tong Baiquan addressed the entire clan, "Brothers of the Tong family, today, everyone bear witness, our Tong family is still the Tong family. We repay kindness with kindness, and revenge with revenge. Little brother, you've worked hard. After I'm done with the main matter, I'll thank you properly. Bring the knife, follow me to father's room." A man stepped forward and handed Tong Baiquan a knife. He nodded, "All right." Tong Baiquan dragged number 69 to his father's memorial room. Tongxin asked worriedly, "Dad, do we really have to go to Grandpa's room in front of his portrait and hack the murderer to pieces? Is this so-called blood debt must be repaid with blood ritual really necessary?" Tong Baiquan gritted his teeth. "You're not going to avenge our Tong family." Tongxin affirmed, "I really want to avenge my brother. Ever since his death, revenge has been the most important thing in my life. I think about it all the time, but Dad, I don't think your method is good. After encountering the messengers, I realized our current weakness. In the past, we exhausted all our efforts but couldn't find their whereabouts. If it weren't for Mr. Wu, we wouldn't have been able to catch them. Dad, killing number 69 now is easy, but if it leads to other messengers, the consequences will be unimaginable." Tong Baiquan raised his voice, "Daughter, when we couldn't catch the murderer, we were ridiculed by outsiders. The Tong family was powerless. Now that we've caught the murderer but don't take revenge, are we letting outsiders laugh at us? Is the Tong family spineless? Look at these uncles and cousins. Over the years, what have we become after being bullied by others?" Tongxin hesitated. At this moment, Wu Chen spoke up, "Mr. Tong, I think Miss Tong's thoughts are not unreasonable." Tong Baiquan looked at Wu Chen with displeasure. "What do you know about the Tong family's affairs? You're an outsider, so don't interfere." "Although I'm an outsider, I know the Tong family's affairs very well. 100 years ago, the northern country changed dynasties. The daughter of a duke fled to northeast China and had to become a dancer to make a living. Fortunately, she was noticed by a wealthy local man. They got married and lived a happy life. During the wave of change, the entire family went from the upper class to commoners, migrating from the northeast to the central plains. Times changed, and by chance, they made a fortune again through coal mining. This part of the Tong family's history, am I wrong?" Tong Baiquan had to admit that Wu Chen's words were completely accurate. Tongxin was surprised. "Mr. Wu, you know our family's past like the back of your hand." Wu Chen continued, "In the 1990s, the Tong family began to venture into the film industry, experimented with a nationwide chain of restaurants, and diversified their family business. But this led to a clash with the Ma family in Guangzhou. Over the past few decades, the two families have become enemies. Then, due to the decline of the coal mining industry, the Tong family has been in a weak position for the past 10 years, being suppressed by the Ma family everywhere. The Tong family's high-end restaurant, as a partner of the DeLong Energy Group, has a significant long-term debt, leading to a shortage of cash flow. Several sons of the Tong family's uncles and cousins went to collect debts, but were beaten into disability by thugs. Since then, they've lost the heart, strength, and courage to work for the family. From that moment on, the heavy burden of reviving the Tong family fell on the shoulders of Tongxin's deceased brother, Tongyan, the most talented of the new generation of the Tong family. But it seems that Tongyan was too outstanding and became a thorn in the side of the Ma family." Hearing this, Tong Baiquan told Wu Chen to stop talking. However, Wu Chen continued, "After Tongyan was murdered, seeing the Tong family's hope of rising again vanish, your father, the old master, was so angry that he coughed up blood and died." At this moment, Tong Baiquan shouted angrily, "I told you to stop talking." Wu Chen said calmly, "Killing number 69 might satisfy you for a moment, but as Miss Tong just said, it will put the entire Tong family in danger, Mr. Tong, if you're still unsure, the future of the Tong family will truly be hopeless. Tong Baiquan's voice softened. Although you're right, if we don't avenge Tong Yan, my father won't be able to rest in peace. I have an idea. I don't know if Boss Tong thinks it's feasible. Hand over number 69 to the CDC Police Department and give credit to the relevant leaders. This will not only strengthen our relationship with them, but also deter those debtors from making things difficult for the Tong family. Tong Baiquan's eyes lit up. Using number 69 strategically can achieve much more than killing her. After careful consideration, he agreed. Let's do it that way, Tong Din. You've made a good friend. Don't worry, Mr. Tong, as long as Miss Tong needs it, I can still lend a hand. Oh right, little brother, I almost forgot to thank you. At the same time, in another location, Ding Rulong returned home and was reprimanded by his grandfather. Rulong, you've disappointed me. You even had to rely on the Li family's son-in-law for help. You've lost all face for the Ding family, Grandpa. It was Wu Chen who begged me. His grandfather slammed his hand on the table. I don't want to hear your excuses. Even if the Li family's daughter marries into our family, the Li family can't interfere in the Ding family's affairs, let alone before the marriage. Wu Chen is already like that, and you're still so arrogant and ignorant of boundaries. Don't blame me for teaching him some rules. That night, the Tong family decided to entertain Wu Chen, little brother. Since you don't need anything, I can't be rude to our guest. I just hope you can have fun. Wu Chen whispered to Tong Baiquan, but you don't need to call men over for fun, do you? After all, I'm Lu Rubing's boyfriend. My preference is still normal. Didn't you hear? You can all leave now. Don't just stand there and entertain our guest well. Dear guest, how do you want to play? Have you tried the 9 layers of ice and fire? Or how about we play this first? Several girls quickly surrounded Wu Chen. However, he was thinking about something else. If I'm not mistaken, it's almost time. A voice came from outside the door. Hey, are the Tong family members playing inside? Why are they hiding like turtles? So many beautiful people lined up into rows to greet me. You're making me lose face. Wu Chen told the girls, I'll play with you later, excuse me. He walked outside and saw a man acting arrogantly. Call someone over here. Without hesitation, Wu Chen kicked the man from the Mo family. The Tong family has been bullied by the Mo family for too long. Now it's time to help the Tong family stop their decline and rise again. I need to separate the Mo family from the Ding family. Wu Chen grabbed the Mo family member by the collar. Although I hit you, it wasn't without reason. I'll compensate you. Take me to your boss. I'll discuss the compensation with him. Tong Baiquan, witnessing this scene, was puzzled. Wu Chen, what are you planning? Half an hour later, at the Dongloi Mining Machinery Company. Hey, open the door. Someone wants to see the boss. Don't you know the rules? What time is it? How dare you disturb the boss? Even if it's urgent, you have to wait until tomorrow. Wu Chen poked his head inside and said, Sorry, I don't have time to wait. Can't you understand human language? The Mo family member trembled. We're done for. Brother Choir is angry. Brother Choir is the #1 fighter in city, also a mixed martial arts champion. If he gets any angrier, we'll be beaten to a pulp. Brother Choir walked out, his voice booming. Damn it. You can't teach someone who doesn't want to learn? He threw a punch at Wu Chen's face. However, Wu Chen dodged it effortlessly. Tit for tat, Wu Chen punched back, sending Brother Choir crashing to the ground, unconscious. His eyes rolled back, and drool dripped from his mouth. The others were stunned. Brother Choir was defeated in an instant. We're lucky to be alive, Wu Chen asked them. Now can I see your boss? Inside the boss's office, the chairman of the Dongloi Mining Machinery Company, Wang Donglo, was licking his lips in front of 2 girls. The foot-washing water of these 2 goddesses is so delicious. So delicious, he gulped it down. Wu Chen walked in, recording everything with his phone. I heard that Wang Dongloi, the Mo family's right-hand man, has a special hobby. Wang Dongloi was furious. Who dares to ruin my fun? Choir, get in here. Don't you want your back anymore? Wu Chen told the 2 girls. You can wait outside. I have some private matters to discuss with Mr. Wang. We don't need to waste time. I want you to leave City C, the farther the better. Wang Donglo lit a cigarette and said, my personal